Hi guys, it's Josh again from Recovery Talks 24/7. I hope everyone's keeping well today. I've literally have been non-stop been trying to get hold of people to do an interview, and I actually managed to get hold of somebody that is going to do an interview for me today. But just to let you guys know, we are sponsored by a company called Money Wellness. Now, Money Wellness, they help out with anything to do with your debt. If you are struggling or you're going through an issue at the moment with finances, I honestly can't recommend enough Money Wellness. They support you every step of the way. They supported myself. I was in debt myself and I struggled, and I managed to get on a thing called a debt relief order. And I'm now debt free, which is absolutely amazing. And that's only because of Money Wellness. So today, like I said at the beginning, we have got a lovely guest with us. Her name is Rebekah. How we met, she's got a TikTok page, which obviously she'll kind of speak on later on before we finish the interview. So wherever you guys want to link up with her and have a chat with her, if anything resonates with you today, then you can get in contact with her directly, because I'm sure she'll be able to kind of give you some support or any heads up about anything. But without further ado, Rebekah, how you doing? You okay?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
Good, good.
Are
It's
you
really good
good?
to have you. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. It's really
Was
good
it
to
my
have you on here today. And I know you've been, we've had a chat briefly before we came on here, and you was explaining a little bit about your story, what you went through. And from what I've heard, it's amazing that you're here today and that you're clean and you're sober. But what I know a lot of my listeners are going to want to hear is want to hear your story,
Yeah.
and not really hear me talking. So can you at this let's start at the beginning, right?
Yeah, that'd be
Can
good stuff.
you take us back, yeah, to your childhood? Like what was life like for you growing up?
It was lonely, to be honest. Like, my mum had mental health. My dad wasn't around. Obviously, my mum and dad weren't together, you see. But, yeah, my mum, I never understood her at all. Like, at all, to be honest with you. Like, she used to do strange things. Really strange things. On one occasion, my nan and granddad were out. This was after she'd been into Lingfield Mount. You know, it's like a psychiatric unit.
Yeah.
And she shouted me up the stairs, and I went up, and she was in the loft. And she got me to drag these big, massive ladders into my granddad's bedroom, go and open the kitchen window, and tell my nan and granddad she'd gone. Bearing in mind, I'm only 5-year-old here. So there's me tottering along these big ladders. But I felt so bad, like my nan and granddad come back, and they were looking all over for her and crying. And as soon as I saw them crying, so we need to ring the police, I just went, Granddad. And then he obviously, there she was, frightened, you know what I mean? Frightened of this little black hole. And she just looked so poorly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
obviously from a young age though, because you said you was 5 years old, so it's began at seeing your mum going through, obviously, as we know now, because we're
Oh.
adults and we can understand it, is obviously mental health. Um, you mentioned when we spoke briefly before we came on here about witnessing a few things at a young age as well. Can you kind of elaborate on that for us as well?
Yeah, there's some things I'm willing to share. Like, when I was little, the boyfriend that she had at the time, I hated him. And it was like, in the front room, there's like the sofa here, and there's a little tiny table there, little square thing. You should sit on your knees and have your dinner and stuff. And he kept kissing her, and I didn't like it, so I was crying. Anyway, he was feeding her like these little yellow tablets. At the time, I didn't know what they were. I thought they were sweets. But obviously, growing up and being around drugs and stuff now, they're like, I think they're sleepers, you know, like diazepam, things like that, but they're yellow.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, do you know something? In recovery, I've learned that my eating disorder come from him. I used to blame my brother because he called me fat. But he used to sit me at this table and make me eat this food. I remember it just being like slop. I can't remember what it was. But I'd prob it on the floor and say, I can't eat that, it's on the floor. But he'd force me to eat it anyway, so I'd be sick. So then now, like, I hate the feeling of being full. I could only eat so much, and I refuse to eat when I'm not hungry because I will be sick, and I don't want to be labelled bulimic. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
affected me in the long run.
Yeah. So with this stuff that you were seeing, because we obviously know that you're in recovery yourself,
Yeah.
and we're going to kind of get to the
Yeah.
great stuff of obviously what happened and everything. But going back to what you were saying then, we've seen your mum go through them emotional breakdowns and seeing your mum do things where you must have thought this isn't right. How did that make you feel kind of growing up as a child? Did you, because I know you said about, again off camera, you was talking about how you felt a bit jealous of other people having a mum and all of
Oh,
that sort of stuff. And
yeah. Growing up, I hated my friends, and they knew it as well. They knew that I felt like that. They could sense it, like, could, you know, the envy and stuff, because they'd say nasty things to me. Like, I remember this one day that one of my friends, she said, it'd be on my mum's 10th, I was going to say wedding anniversary there, anniversary, you know, for dying. It's been 10 years, get over it. Like, it's been 27 years now and I've still not got over it because I've never grieved over it, do you know what I mean? And I
yeah,
just, you could just see all the things that, like, they were getting nice things and this, that, and the other, and I'm just this little girl who's pining for a mother that and she's never going to have. And I
yeah,
just complete abandonment, like, you know, everything you touch, everything you love, it, you leave, well, they leave, and you lose it. So I was
yeah,
scared to get attached to people, and yeah, like, just, it's affected me now as well, like, as a parent. Like, I found it hard to reciprocate love with my kids. You know, when they're giving you normal affection, things like that. I didn't know what to do with it. So I'd freak out. And
yeah.
obviously it's not nice for them. And they're obviously going to have issues now, and I've got to build that, and, like, I can work with them now, do you know what I mean? Now I've sorted well, I'm not saying I've sorted myself out because I'm only 45 days in, but whoop.
That's amazing.
I
That's
know.
still massive though.
Yeah.
45 days in, that's
7 weeks
huge.
on Tuesday.
Come on, that's
Um,
amazing.
buzzing.
Um, and that's one thing that we've got to remember as well. You know, anyone that's listening to this as well, guys, is, you know, when we speak about this stuff, um, sometimes it's quite difficult, isn't it? You know, because some people go through trauma, people go through their different forms of trauma, and that could be really small to somebody else, but to you, it's massive. You know, and that's what you're sharing today. So I really appreciate you, you know, touching on this today, Rebekah.
Yeah.
So getting back to your mum again, because I know
Yeah.
that there's probably going to be somebody that's listening to this that has either
Yeah.
lost a mum or a father as well, or have lost both. And, you know, like you said, it takes a long time to grieve. And when you said that word grieve, people are probably going, oh, so what's happened to your mum then? Where
Yeah.
did that go to? How comes you're grieving? What happened to your mum?
Her mental health deteriorated that much that she didn't want to be here anymore. She took an overdose and it took her own life. And it was 29 days before my birthday that she died, my 6th birthday. But I remember when she did it. I've still got that memory like it was yesterday. I remember being sat in the front room in my nan's house because we moved in with my nan then because obviously she couldn't handle us on her own. And she kept coming in out the kitchen with a glass of water. I didn't have a clue what she was doing, but she didn't look right. Do you know that term, dead eyes? That's
Yeah,
when I was young, I didn't know what it was, but now I do. Yeah, and then the next morning, I was stood playing with a little, you know, the house phones.
yeah.
Well, there wasn't a cordless one then. It was a while ago. You know what I mean? I had the cords on it, and I was playing with that. And I remember just looking up the stairs, and she looked at me, and she was come flopping down the stairs, nearly flattened me. So I was crying. I was really upset. And then my nan and granddad helped her flop onto the sofa, and they rang 999, and then the ambulance come. The paramedics took her away, and it's the last time I ever saw her.
Wow, wow. That's and the crazy thing is with like the brain, for example, it never forgets, does it? You know, that's something that still lived with you today.
You know,
How did that make you feel growing up now? Like you said, you obviously suffered with, you was getting jealous with people having a mum.
I
That
had it in my
must
head that I was going to die like that. And I got married in 2015, and my husband, is the father of three of my children. He said to me, "It's all right, Bex, because you're going to kill yourself by the time you're 30, just like your mum." So that instantly stuck with me, right? So I had this goal that I needed to get past 29. But then when I got to 29, my brother hung himself, and he was
wow.
32. So then my other goal was to get past 32, which, hooray, I've done it. I'm 33 now, but the amount of overdoses I've took, and it's not taken me away. So there's got to be a purpose for me on this world. God must have plans for me, you know what I mean? Like, in my eyes, God had better plans for my mum and my brother as angels, and maybe to watch over me and guide me back to the light.
Yeah, definitely. And I love how you put it like that as well, you know, because, you know, even for myself, going through the addiction and nearly losing my life as well. And I'm sure there's people listening that are going, yeah, that was exactly me, you know, but I'm still here today.
I'm grateful.
You know, we've been given that opportunity to change, and we all know, and anyone that's listening that's debating whether to come off or anything like that, you know, with the drugs or the alcohol, you know, there's only so long that we can keep going on like that before that time comes where we're no longer here. We're either in, you know, in the jails, or we're 6 feet under the ground and our families are grieving about us. So this is a time for us to change, and a time for us to make a difference. And that's what you're doing today, Rebekah, and that is absolutely amazing. So getting on to, you know, you've touched on that subject, and again, thank you so much for just being open and raw about that, because it must be difficult. You know, it must be difficult to
Oh, it
even
is
sometimes.
every day. Like, I started to feel this hatred towards her, and like, you know, for leaving me and that. But then November 2019, I had a complete. Obviously, I'd been on drugs the night before, but with cocaine. But that day, I completely lost my head, and I took an overdose, and then I literally, the feeling I felt there, I finally understood what pain she felt, and I stopped hating her that day.
Yeah.
I know it was a disaster for me, but it opened my eyes, and if she hadn't have died that way, she'd died in another way, I think. So at times she didn't want to be here, and the pain that she was in, I think she's probably at peace now, do you know what I mean? It's the same for my brother as well.
Yeah.
That was
And like
really...
they say, they'll be looking down on you now going, go on, Rebekah, doing an interview.
No, but they'll be
100%.
calling me Becky then. Becky,
I'll pick
Becky.
it.
Look. I don't like it.
Oh, bless you. So, you know, we've spoken on that. This has obviously had you know, a drastic effect on you, has a drastic effect on your mental health. And
Yeah.
obviously you growing up, like you said, you're looking at other young girls at the same age as you going, you've got a mum, I don't like it, you know, and I
Yeah.
completely get it. I completely
Jealousy,
understand
yeah.
the
Like,
jealousy part. I've,
not being able to be there with me when I give birth, walking down the aisle.
yeah.
My prom, well, I missed that prom anyway because I got run over when I was 16, but...
Oh, Mr. Prom. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
The Friday, I had my hair done.
yeah.
The Saturday, I had my spray tan done. And then the Sunday, I got run over. My prom was supposed to be the Tuesday.
Oh wow.
But I was in a really bad way. Nearly lost my life there.
Wow. And you're still here today. That's amazing.
But I think the reason that hurt me so much is because I was going to be a dancer. I wanted to go to perform, like, no, do performing arts. But obviously, having a metal leg, I couldn't really do that.
Yeah. So with the drug situation now, and we'll get onto another subject, which is what I really kind of want to speak on as well, which is the toxic relationships. But let's start with the drugs.
Yeah.
What's happened? You know, was there a specific moment for you that when party drugs became part of your coping mechanism through what
Yeah.
you've gone through?
Absolutely, yeah. Started off just, well, I think I smoked weed when I was about 13, 14. But I didn't take my first drug until I was 18, really. Anything other than that, it was MCAT.
Yeah.
And then, like, obviously I tried cocaine and whiz and things like that. But then I dabbled with a crack pipe.
Yeah.
But at first it wasn't anything, do you know what I mean? Like, it would just be, do you know, like when people do recreational drugs? You know, having a drink and then cocaine. Well, it used to be just like that, and it'd be like once every couple of months. But I was a secret one. I didn't tell no one about it. But then last year, I was going through a bad relationship, and yeah, I was pregnant. about last March time, I started to dabble with the drugs. Get on the crack cocaine, and then it started off just being the same, like once a month or something like that. But then it led on to a couple of times a week.
Yeah.
And then the last time I took that was the 10th of August last year, and then I didn't touch it at all until the 14th of November, when I left that relationship on the 13th, and then I went down to see my dad, who had cancer, mouth and throat cancer. And I used crack again then, just for that night. And seeing him, he had a big dressing on his face there, from this cancer. And because I took crack again, I was so ashamed of myself. I didn't stay for the full 2 days I was supposed to. I just went and come back. Literally, I was there for 24 hours. And I think I did it once or twice after that. And I just thought, right, I'm going to tell my social worker that I've done it and that I want to go to rehab, because if I don't, it's just going to keep spiralling. And every time that I have a shit day or you know what I mean, I'd go back to it. So I told her, but do you know what, that was a green light for me. I told her that, and it went straight to every day. 6-7 weeks it went on for. And then I went into Addictions Northeast.
That's amazing.
And I lasted 11 days.
See, that's there's so many people that I've met as well in my time of recovery. People have gone in and they've only done it for a couple of days, and then they've dropped out, and then they've come back again and they've done it, and they've actually stuck and done it. And I guess obviously with yourself, you had to kind of go away to then come back and go, no, do you know what? I genuinely have the desire to stop using. I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
Something needs to change and something needs to happen.
Yeah.
Is that what it was like for you?
Well, on the Friday the 7th of February, one of the facilitators did a share in the groups, and I did a share back, and you could. I'll explain first, then you'll see where it looks like it's premeditated. I did a share back, and I said I normally just show where I'm at, but this time I'm going to go deeper. And I literally told them from me being born right up until, and I broke down. And then that night I stupidly went to meet my ex, and it got violent. I rang the police, and I ended up taking drugs that night. The next day I found out my dad was dead. And he'd been dead since the 19th of January.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't find out because I wasn't allowed Facebook, and I had to change my number. But I didn't use on the Saturday when I found out that. But then the Sunday I was feeling like absolute shit. And I got on it with my housemate on the Sunday, Monday, and then early hours the Tuesday, the windows got put through.
But it's like a coping mechanism, isn't it, though? When things that happen and you realise that comfort that the drug gave you for such a short period of time, for that split second or a minute, and then you're kind of chasing that all the time, weren't you?
You're just chasing that first one, but you're never going to get it, are you?
I'm never going to get it. Never. I used to do that all the time, and I just used to sit back and be like, I've got no money. I now can't take anything. I'm going to have to go out and get it other ways. So getting back to what we was talking about then, what, you spoke about being drawn into abusive relationships. So you've started at the beginning. You've told us at a young age, at 5 years old, you've seen something that no child would ever want to have to see, but you've seen that with your own eyes. You've then had to deal with that yourself, and mental health has had a massive play in your life. You're getting jealous about people that have got other family members that they've got that happy family life and you haven't. You now then obviously have gotten to the party drugs. You're doing the weed, you're doing the cocaine, you're doing the crack cocaine, but then you're getting into relationships. And you said to me, something off camera, and you was talking about these relationships that you was in, and they were quite abusive and toxic. And I really wanted to speak on this a lot more today, because I think it's quite a big subject in the world today, in our country alone. I can't speak on behalf of any other country in the world, but in our country alone, from what I know, toxic
Oh
relationships,
God, yeah.
there is a lot going on. And even as we speak now, Rebekah, there's probably somebody at home, male or female, that is going through something that you're going to
It's
be
men as
sharing
well.
with us, that you've gone through. So can you touch on a little bit more about that for us, about
Yeah,
what you went through in
like
toxic relationships?
I've always looked for approval, and I always search for gratification and things like that. So, like the whole side of controlling coercive behaviour, I got addicted to that. Like getting told what to do, telling you what you can and can't wear, and even like the physical side. It's like that's the only kind of affection you got, so you craved it. But I'd be addicted to narcissists, and I'm addicted to like abusive people. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I've seen growing up, and it just seems normal to me. Like when someone's too nice, I'm like, go away. But yeah, I actually ended up going to a refuge because of the physical violence,
Yeah.
and that absolutely ruined me. That, but I was just, if it's not, if it's not wrong, then it's not right.
Mm.
It has to be like. And I know a lot of women out there will be sat there thinking, do you know what, this is my relationship, you know what I mean? Like, you're not allowed Facebook, social media. If people message you, they're looking over your shoulder on your phone. It's not right. But I still was drawn into it.
And that must have been difficult. Like,
It's,
what was you, I think people would probably sit there and go, there's them typical people that can look at a documentary on the TV and be like, why do these men go back? Why do these women go back? What is it? Why did you go back? Why did you why did you allow that to happen to yourself?
just scared to be alone. Scared. It's a fear of being alone. And like, you think that affection's acceptable because it's something. It's like a dog. If you beat a dog, it'll come back to its owner when you're beating it, because it's where you get love, and
Yeah.
that's what you're led to believe love is like. But it's not. It shouldn't be like that. And it's took me a lot of years to realise that. It's only actually been going in the refuge and then getting into another relationship after that, where I've had my daughter. She's nearly 9 months old. Just seen it today.
Really?
It's only like them two relationships where I've realised I can't keep doing it anymore, because they are going to kill me. I don't want to be dying at the hands of a man, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's either that or I'm going to retaliate and go to jail myself, and it's not what I want.
And you're in the best place you can be now. You're on
Oh,
this
yeah,
recovery journey,
absolutely.
and you're making a difference and you're making a change now.
Yeah.
So, in regards to, did you ever feel like part of you was addicted to the chaos on a daily basis, or
Yeah.
did it sometimes feel like there was lack of self-worth?
Oh, God, yeah.
Did you, when that stuff happened, did it make you feel like it was your fault every time? Because I know there's probably women out there going, I don't understand why he's doing it. I think it's me. I done that. I deserved that.
Yeah.
Because I've heard people say that, and I've even stood there going, no, you didn't deserve that. That's not right. But they must. Did you ever feel like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like I deserved it. Like, in the scenario that's most recent, because I was smoking crack, I thought, oh yeah, I'll take this, I'll take that, because at the end of the day, I was going to go get a pipe after it, do you know what I mean? But it's like, you look at all the bad things in your life. I've let my kids down, this, that, and the other, so I deserve to be spoken to like that. Do you know what I mean? And you
Yeah.
do feel like you feel worthless. And to be honest, I'm still struggling with myself now. You know what I mean? Like, since all that, like, I look in the mirror and I don't like what I see. That's why it's filtered to death all over TikTok. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to be someone else. I
Yeah.
don't feel comfortable in my own skin, and I think part of it is because I haven't got a mum and like the perfect life that I wanted, and it does affect you, like, internal.
Yeah.
All the external stuff now, it doesn't matter. It's inside that I need to fix, otherwise. I mean, look at me now. I've took away the drink and I've took away the drugs, but I'm still broken. So it's time to just fix this.
But that's a powerful saying of what you said there, though. You know, you take away the drugs, you take away the alcohol, you're still broken inside, and that goes to show that, you know, when we take a substance and when we drink alcohol, it only covers it up for such a short period of time. And when that moment when you have to rip the band-aids off and go, right, you need to let it heal now, you know,
Yeah.
it is that journey that you're going on. And I can't say enough that you're so courageous to be able to do that. You know, you're like a soldier. That it's a hard thing to do, and there's people that are listening that are going, I just can't do it, I can't face reality, I can't face that because it's too painful. What was it for you that made you realize, do you know what, I just need to face this now? What made you change
Well,
that?
like I said, I relapsed on after 11 days, didn't I? And then I left Addictions North East on the 11th of February. I went down to Bradford to stay with my dad's cousin. He looked after me brilliantly, do you know what I mean? But my dad's funeral was obviously there, so I just kept using. And like I said, I told them I was going to come back. I wanted to get my dad's funeral out of the way. But it got to the point where I was using against myself. I was using against my will. I was only doing it because there's nothing else to do, and I didn't want to. It was boredom as well, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what? Some nights I'd sit there and I'm like, fucking shit, it wasn't even working. And then I keep trying and keep trying. Oh, maybe this one will be all right, or I'll clean the pipe. Maybe that one will be all right. And then once it just doesn't work, and then you're like that. So then obviously you go. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
even though it's not working, you still try and do it again, do it again. But
Just keep chasing that high, you
yeah,
know. I can't like I used to do exactly the same thing. There's probably people sitting at home going, "Oh my days!" You know, you'd sit there for hours, and
yeah,
you'd look at the time and you'd be like, "I've sat in the same position
yeah,
for 5 hours. My ass is numb, and I'm still trying to scrape it out. I'm still trying to drink the last bit of alcohol, and it's just not happening. What's going on?" And you just keep chasing it and chasing it and chasing it, and then
yeah,
before you know it, you wake up and you're either in the hospital, you've been sectioned because something's happened, and you just had this psychotic like moment, or you just look around and you're just like, yeah, you just feel empty, don't you?
yeah. It's
It's
like
just that it's
the
hard
hole
to
in the
explain
donut.
unless you're in it,
The
isn't
hole
it?
in the donut.
It is.
Done. But I took, I think on about 2 or 3 occasions, I took, what is it? Trazodone, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And like pre-gabs. Never even done them before. I don't do tablets. That's how I know I was like close to the edge. Because obviously, since my mum did what she did, don't come near me with tablets unless I'm going to top myself. But anyway, I didn't take them for like that. It was just took them because obviously the crack was all gone. But I started to pass out. I fainted a couple of times, and I still need to get my head checked from it, to be honest with you.
Oh,
But
really? Did you
yeah,
whack your head bad?
oh god, yeah. But I didn't bleed or anything like that. It was just in the hallway. He had like this fridge freezer that someone needed to pick up ages ago. Anyway, his bedroom's here. I was just stood talking to him, and then all of a sudden, I'm just grabbing the doorway, and then boom, and my head smashed off here. And then he's got like a wooden chest of drawer thing there as well. And I just got up and went, got to the pipe.
Do you know what? It's great though that we can laugh about these things now. You know, the situations that have happened in our lives. You know, because it's
Absolute
mental though, isn't
definition
it?
of insanity.
It literally is the insanity of it all. Eh? So, was there anyone who kind of helped you, guide you to kind of get back to the point of change? Was it something you found within yourself, or
Yeah, it
did you purely
was.
just do it yourself?
It was on the. It was it was on my payday and in the March, and I rung up with it. Like obviously the Addictions North East, so you have to obviously. I think I had arrears from the time before, but obviously I paid that over, and then they said, right, we'll get you in on the 25th of March. I was like, buzzing, and obviously I used right up until that morning. and I had a pipe on the morning, like before I was going to go to the train. Didn't want it. As soon as I left my cousin's house, I've not had one obsession since.
Wow.
Not even a little flittering thought.
That's amazing.
I'm not going to say, sit here and pretend I'm high almighty and say that I never will get an obsession, because I don't know. But from like then, and then 45 days later now, not one. The drink and the drugs part is not my problem at the minute. It's me in myself. That's what I'm struggling with.
Yeah. And that's why you're on this journey now, and you're having all this stuff being identified for yourself, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Didn't realise how many defects I've actually got. Wow.
Join the club, there's so much in myself that is like,
I'm
is
not looking
nuts.
forward to that list, I'm not.
No, writing that big list. No. So with your recovery journey,
Yes.
again, you've taken us from this little girl at 5 years old. People are probably have listened to this at the beginning and they're like, oh my God, how has she
Do you
got
know
to where
something?
she is today?
Do you know something? I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I look back at my life and I think, oh, it's not that bad. People have gone through worse, and it's like it's because you've been in it yourself and you're not looking on the outside. And then I'm just like, but what about him over there? And they're just like,
Definitely. But do you know what? There's a thing about it is like, when you share about your life, how you've shared today at this beginning of your story and everything, it's been so humble, and I think I want people to really know, and yourself as well, Rebecca, everyone's got an amazing story and everyone's got their trauma. Everyone's got that story that people are like, oh my God, and of
yeah,
course there is other people out there that are going through so much more, or people out there that may be going through less.
yeah,
But that's your story, and that's a powerful story. Anyone that's listening, that if you've got this story and you're probably listening today going, well, my life ain't that bad, so I can kind of carry on doing what I'm doing. No, like, your story is powerful, but stop doing what you're doing, make a change,
yeah.
and just make that first step, because
I want to
trust
inspire
me,
people now.
and I'll bet you any money, when you made that first step, you're looking back at your life now going, wow, and look at where you are today. You're on here today doing a podcast interview and
Do you know
sharing your
what?
story.
See people like in the streets that are still in active addiction. Like, God bless them, and I will pray for them. But I'll look and I think, did I used to look like that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I was exactly the same. I was homeless on the streets, and when I look at them now, I'm like, wow, my beard
Yeah.
was down to here. I was shocked up like that. Do you know what I mean? Literally
Like
begging
me,
every
finding
Tom,
Nemo
Dick,
and
and Harry.
Dory.
Yeah, exactly. And, even
Just keep swimming.
exactly. And, when I share it with people that haven't been through it, or that have got no, addiction or anything like that, they're like, why? Like, how did you do what? Really? I could
Yeah.
never see you've done that. And I'm sure, when people watch this video as well, Rebecca, they're going to look at you and be like, I
She
just
looks like a
don't see
crackhead.
that person. Yeah, I just don't
I
see
used
that
to,
person.
I used to always say I'm not a crackhead because I never stole for it. I never sold myself. I bought it, so I wasn't a crackhead. I was a crack smoker.
Yeah. And as we know, that's just a lie in our heads, isn't it? We just
Well,
think, well, I'm not like
I
them.
truly believe this until like about a week ago. And it's like, you know
Yeah.
what? No, because you're still a crackhead. You still put drugs before your kids. You still jumped over your kids to get crack. But yeah,
There
fair
we
enough.
go.
Do you know what? I'm going to own that and I'm going to take it. And yeah,
And good on you for owning that. That's massive.
yeah,
So, recovery journey. What we're doing now. So you're now living in a clean recovery house and you're working a program.
yeah.
What has that experience been like? What has it been like for you now? For you so far?
Oh, I actually know what it's like to be happy without drink or drugs. People look at me like, you don't need drink or drugs. Like, I am proper happy all the time, and yeah, I get emotional. I really do. And sometimes I'll go in and I'll put a front on, but inside I'm screaming. But it's like, wake up, pray, meditate, gratitude list, and I'm set for the day. But music as well. Music is a big thing for me. I haven't got the confidence to go out there and do it, but do it on the quiet. I used to do music with my dad as well. He'd play the guitar and I'd sing with him, and I do miss that. Miss it in his kitchen. I don't miss the the recklessness of the smoking crack and stuff like that. But I do miss the music that we did. Hopefully I'll have the balls to get up one day and sing.
Oh, I was going to say, do you not want to sing now?
Good
We
way. A
won't put
nice
you under
weather today,
pressure.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Moving on then. We won't ask that. Yeah. So what's something about recovery that you didn't expect, but you now really appreciate? Because you've come into recovery. You didn't think you knew you had a problem, but you didn't really know about recovery or what the journey was like. So what's it been like for you, the experience that you've had? What do you now really appreciate about recovery?
But I appreciate being alive. I don't wake up on a morning and cry because I'm alive. I wake up every morning being grateful for living, grateful for the birds tweeting. Honestly, it's like, but I'm grateful for Addictions North East. They have saved me. The support they give, they're amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've got a new family now. I've got that family network. Like the family I've never felt growing up. I've got it. And
Got
it's
it there.
the gifts come from recovery. Like I saw my nan and granddad and my daughter for the first time since I relapsed on Wednesday. I've just seen my daughter today. Yeah.
Gifts of recovery. That's amazing. So what sort of tools are, what I would like to know and other people would like to know, what tools are you using to help you stay grounded so you stay who you are today? What are you doing?
Take it to God. Pray, meditate, and obviously number one, first foremost, ring your sponsor. You've got to get honest and tell it. No matter how dark your secrets are or what bad thing you need to get honest with your sponsor so they can connect and understand each other, and they will guide you.
So when you say obviously you sponsor, I know you're involved in a 12-step program, and if anyone that's listening that doesn't really understand about what a 12-step program is, all you need to do is just get online, type in 12-step program on Google, on any search engine, and it will give you all of the things that you need to know. I'd highly recommend it, but there is different ways and shapes and forms of getting clean. Whatever works for you, just go for it. As long as you're clean today and you're staying strong and you're doing what Rebekah's doing, you're doing what Josh is doing, myself and other people, you're on the right path, and keep sharing about it as well. And like you said, obviously you've got a sponsor as well, Rebekah. So
Stay connected.
I'm guessing, and stay connected, exactly. And I'm guessing when things get hard, because it's not all a bed of roses every day, as we both know. We're clean, we're sober, yeah, everyone's excited and I'm excited, but then there must be a day that comes and you're like, oh.
Do you know what, right? We haven't pre-spoke about this. This has just happened on the train today. With 4 little divvies in Sunderland t-shirts going to watch a game. They're all drinking. And they were sat right near me. It didn't bother me at all. But they were like causing too much noise and stuff for, the other passengers and that. And normally I wouldn't be saying nice words. But like if you want to put yourself in that situation like this, 45 days ago, I'd be joining in with them.
But you're not.
Nope.
You're sitting here doing this.
I know. I was sat finishing a picture I was drawing for my daughter, and then I put it in a frame for her, and I've given her it so she can put it on the wall.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So, looking forward now, because people know you're in recovery.
Yeah.
Did you say you're 45 days clean? Is that right?
Yeah. 7 weeks on Tuesday.
Absolutely smashing it. So, I want to ask you a few questions, Rebekah.
Yeah.
And I just want you to be honest with me about it, and because I know there's going to be people that are going to go, "Oh yeah, what's their views on that?" Yeah. Step one. No, joking. So, what does healing mean to you now?
Healing means everything to me. Absolutely everything. Like, I'm ready for it now. Before it'd just be put it in a box, stick it in the cupboard, and you ain't ever getting out. But healing now, if I don't find my healing, I'll lose myself again, and I don't want to.
And if you could go back to a younger self, so the younger girl that you was at 5 years of age, the one who felt lost, the one who was scared, the one who was craving to have her mum back, what would you say to her?
What, to myself?
If you wanted to speak to yourself, what would you want to say to yourself?
I'd probably say, pick yourself up, girl. You're gonna have them babies to watch over and things like that. I don't know. I think I'd knock myself into oblivion, to be honest with you, if I knew I was gonna lead the life I did. But yeah, them babies need you. Honestly, you said just be honest, right? When you said if you were that little girl, I just, like, I'd go back just for one day, or just even for 10 seconds, just so I can remember my mum's voice. Do you know what I mean? I don't remember that anymore, but yeah, I'd tell myself that I've got it. There's plans for you out there. You've got to stay strong.
Love that. Love that. I always ask people that question, and it gets them thinking as well. Because I
Give me
remember
some
when I
warning.
say again,
You could have given me some warning.
I just thought I'd chuck it in there. I think because it's really important just to kind of,
Made me
when you
choke.
get asked, yeah, when you ask that question, you're kind of like, yeah, what would I say? Somebody asked me that question quite a while back now, and I choked up. I was like, oh my God, if I saw a little version of me, what would I say? And my
I'd probably
words
want to
were,
give myself a hug.
that's exactly what I said. I just said, I would just give him a hug and just tell him it's going to be all okay and we've got this. But I'm
Yeah.
like, when I said this, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
It's just like,
I was holding him back there, I swear. I thought, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. I've got
yeah,
emotional unstable personality disorder, you see, so I don't really handle emotions very well.
okay. But thank you for being honest with that one.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's such a beautiful thing as well. Being able to answer that, and you can answer that today, and you can just say to that little
Yeah.
version of you, like, it's going to be okay.
I can say it with a
And
clear head today.
exactly. So as we're coming to a close now, Rebecca,
Yeah.
I want to know, and all the listeners want to know, what's next for you in your recovery journey? Have you got any dreams or any goals? What fire
Uh,
away, tell us.
Growing up, I wanted to be a hairdresser when I was a child. And then I wanted to be a dancer. But I want to do psychology and counselling around domestic violence for men and women and drugs and also grieving. I'd love to help someone that's obviously either gone through what I've gone through or be able to prevent that from happening. I just want to give back and I want to help people before they end up turning into a life of drink and drugs and violence and theft and things like that. Crime, that's the one, crime, and jail.
That's amazing. I think you do amazing at that, and I'll be rooting for you 100%. All my listeners will be rooting for you as well, and don't you dare let that dream go, because I've met so many people that have all had dreams to do things and they kept at it and they're doing it, and a lot of them are doing similar stuff to you, Rebecca, giving back to the community and helping out those that need us, and sadly, people like myself and you and other women and other men that are in addiction or in toxic relationship, there's just not enough support and enough help. And that's
You
why
know,
we need
we,
people like
we,
us
don't
to
reach
step
out,
up.
we don't reach out either though, do we?
No, that's why we need to come to them. We need to go, come here, and offer the help.
Well, this
So
started that now. Started. You need this 12-step program. You.
go on.
God, I did it today.
Did you?
I went 12 steps, and then you mentioned something, and then I was like, right, that's step 1, right, that's step 4.
Love that. So Rebecca, again, thank you so much again for coming on
Thanks,
today.
Sam.
I really, really appreciate it. So before you go, I wanted to know, is there anything you want to share with our listeners today? A message of hope, something that has helped you feel seen, like anything you want to share with somebody that's listening on here today, even if we just reach that one person. What do you want to say to them today?
I'd always say, always be honest with yourself, and don't sit there on your own. If you're struggling, get yourself a big book, get a sponsor. Always reach out, and I can't stress enough how much this has changed my life. 45 days ago, I was in the gutter. Now I feel like I'm free. I can see again. I can see clear. I'm not clouded with like, you know, blocking my emotions or blocking myself out. And yeah, I'm finally ready to just hit my fears head on. Also, I'm doing a for cancer. It's like a charity thing. I'm I'm scared of heights, but I'm going to do a skydive.
Wow,
Yeah, it's for cancer. So I was like, oh well, I can go for my dad.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And look, you're
Thanks.
able to do this stuff today,
I know.
you know, being clean and sober with a clear mind. That's amazing, you
I
know.
know.
And anyone that's listening today, you know, I hope that you've managed to get something out of this story today. And I think this has definitely been a story of strength and hope. This has definitely been a story of just complete honesty. And again, Rebekah, I just want to thank you so much for coming on here,
Thank you.
for being courageous and just sharing. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. So thank you so much for coming on. And just to give everyone a heads up, anyone that's going to be interested in listening to this episode, it's going to be coming out on the 15th of May. So I'm all excited. The poster's already up as well. But also, Rebekah, before you go, I wanted you to let people know, where can they find you on TikTok? Because I know you've got a social media, but we'll just stick to a TikTok. So where can they find you?
Yeah, do you want my username? It's Reb, like REB92X.
Awesome. So guys, make sure you follow her, give her a follow. And if you've got any questions or anything like that, then you've got my website as well. It's www.recoverytalks.co.uk. Just jump on there. I've got all my episodes on there. Or if you have any questions at all, you can drop me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But again, Rebekah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers.